Hello, everybody. I don't have a fancy presentation, but that was good to see. I love these kind of events for Tampa because I get to do a lot of traveling, especially when I was, the president of the film festival at Gasparilla. I got to, I still do. I went to Sundance and South by Southwest and Austin Film Festival. I mean, I've traveled to Glasgow, Ireland, and several different places with the film festivals or just films I've had a fortunate to be a part of, whether I'm producing. So my background is I actually work locally in Tampa at Merrill Lynch. I've been a financial advisor for 15 years, and I think it was year 2 of the film festival, Gasparilla. It was one of my clients brought my attention to it, asking me to sponsor it. And anytime there's an event like this one right here, or at the time the film festival, it's like a new up-and-coming positive event for the community. I was like, let me jump aboard, and I went and I brought some clients to it. And then one film I got to see, I went to Florida State University, and I saw this movie about baseball. I played baseball at Florida State, and I was like, let me check it out. And on the big screen is my best friend from college. Like, he was one of the main characters in the film, who I saw him like a year earlier in New York City, and he was telling me about this film he was doing, and I just didn't even pay attention. And at the time, that was the film. So it inspired me to be more a part of the film festival. I ended up joining the board. I think it was year 4 or 5. And has anyone been to Gasparilla Film Festival? Anyone here? Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of I see a music festival shirt here. A lot of the founders of the music festival came from the film festival, and these are great community events that are just keep growing and growing and getting more attention. So when I became president, I think it was year 5, it was struggling to gain traction in this area because we don't really have a film community. So we went grassroots with it, and what that means is, we went to the schools, we went to USF, we went to UT, and a lot of what, you're doing with any kind of business, when you're building it, you want to go grassroots. So it was a thing that really inspired, talking about film. People were like, what is that? Independent film, I don't know. And so what ended up happening was I produced a film just really on an arm's distance level that premiered at Toronto Film Festival that was called Brooklyn Brothers Beat the Best. And in that film, it had, like you probably would know, Wilmer Valderrama, Melissa Leo, who won an Academy Award. There were some big names in the film, and it did really well. And from that film, the same crew came here a couple years or a year later and made a movie called Chew and Blossom. And this movie had a lot of TV stars, Alan Cumming and Mercedes Ruehl, who's won an Academy Award. A lot of different people were in that film. And that movie, we went around to all the schools and got a lot of the kids to intern or actually work for the film. So kids spread the word. And it was after that year, the film festival really took off. I mean, the attendance probably doubled. The film festival gets submissions, meaning people submit to play their film there. It grew from 100 to 600 in a matter of like 2 years, where it took 5 years to get to 100. So these are the word of mouth, just getting the word out about the festival, and it really just grew, organically through the community. And now you see, it's blossomed to an amazing event where we had Colin Farrell a couple years ago. We're getting A-list actors and producers here in Florida. So my story about film, are we going to be able to play that video or no? No? You saying about... Did Vinny say anything about it? No? Okay, no worries. Okay, so what happened was, the main focus of what I was talking about today is, like, as a producer and living here in Tampa is not the easiest thing to do. Not just because of the time difference. LA is 3 hours behind, so I'm end up working, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. is normal. And you don't really want to come across as a Tampa producer because they don't really understand that in Los Angeles. So I'm always on call. So it would happen, what was it? We did a movie here, actually shot in Ybor City, called Sex Ed. It's on Netflix now. It's a very hot title on Netflix. It's got Haley Joel Osment in it. It was a very, it's done really well for us. And that film, we went to the AFM, which is the American Film Market out in Santa Monica, about 2 years ago. And we were showing the film, and everyone was telling us, if you make a film with a horse and a little girl, we'll buy it like crazy. So these are distributors. These are people that need content for Netflix or any kind of HBO, Sony, all those different distributors. So we're like, you know what, let's do it, but let's do it big. So we ended up getting a Frisian horse, which are these big black mythical looking horses in Michigan. Got it trained, everything, and we shot about a week here in Florida. It was a Christmas film, so we actually went up to Big Rapids, Michigan, shot a few days there in the -degree weather, shot all the Christmas scenes, and then we took all the horse and everything to Bulgaria, and we made the rest of the film on the same lot that they've made Expendables and Conan the Barbarian, Hercules, all these big films. So with that film, which has Deborah Messing, Stephen Dorff, John Cleese from Monty Python, it has a lot of great actors in it. That film the roots are here. Myself and my producing partner she actually lives right in Bradenton. So we're here making films like that, and the film will be finished very soon. We're showing it to Netflix and Sony and Universal at the end of this month out in Los Angeles. And with that film, we've been able to really make some amazing contacts in the industry where, in Florida, I don't know if you guys have heard, there's no incentives here. But, when you have a film of high quality, you don't really need it. It doesn't matter because these actors carry value. The story carries value. So you can actually make money before you even make the film. We did a little pig film just as investors, a little pig, like a mini pig film and a girl. It has Joey Lawrence from Blossom in it. And before the film was even shot, we made all the money back on the film. Just because there's so much need and desire for these family films. There's not many being made, especially at the independent level. I mean, Disney can only make so many, and those films are $100 million budgets. Our films are anywhere from $100,000 to $3 million. So, like foreign countries, they're able to buy our films, which have similar quality, for a lot less money. We do embellish the budgets to them, but that helps us, and it makes us be able to keep making films. One of the success stories with Albion that already has happened, and we've already started. This is the one, Albion. It's called Albion, the Enchanted Stallion. It's a film that, like I was saying, it's a family film. It's about a little girl who finds this big black horse, and it has a Wizard of Oz story where she jumps on this horse, rides off, and she ends up in Albion, which is this beautiful world with caves and waterfalls and all these crazy characters. And it turns out she's the key to solving a war that's been going on for years there. And during this film, it's a film that reminds us of like Chronicles of Narnia. So the distributor of that movie, Walden Media, who we need to get them people here, but because they're like Phil Anschutz who's the owner. I mean, he does a lot of different things, but they are very interested in our film. So they talked to us about what they did advertising-wise and marketing-wise for that film, and it was building a curriculum for schools around the story. So what we're doing right now, and it's being launched Tuesday actually, is we're working with a company out of right near actually Sarasota called Blue Nose that did the same curriculum for Chronicles of Narnia that they're doing for us. We just made it about our story. So students from 5th grade to in high school are learning the whole world of Albion. They're getting 9 modules from teachers. This is all new to me. I'm not a teacher, obviously, but teachers need curriculum. They need things to teach, to teach their students new interests and ideas. So we're making it free for them. It's going to hit 1 million different teachers, across the U.S. And they're going to, even if we get 10%, that's an amazing number of students that will know about our film. All they'll learn how to write a screenplay. John Cleese, who wrote Monty Python and Fish Called Wanda, he has quotes in there and different directions to the students on what to do and how to create a story and characters and all these different things. So it's very, it's a different way to market your film, and distributors, they love this kind of stuff. So it's a risk for us, but also it's a low risk because when you have that organic growth, just like the film festival, it just blossoms a lot of times into success. So that's being launched Tuesday. The film will be done end of this month, and then we will, be releasing it in the fall. And then from there, what's next? So I actually am now, because it is hard to be here. Actually, when I was in Bulgaria, which is because we were in Bulgaria for 6 weeks with Albion, it was, I think, 7 hours ahead there, I want to say. So I had to be up about 22 hours a day because LA was 10 hours difference. So it was very challenging to make a film over there, but what you get over there in resources, it ends up being half the cost. So we're wanting to go back there to make another film because the total, there's actually a movie out right now called London Has Fallen that was shot in the same lot. They keep all these sets up, so you can go there and London's right there. You can go there and ancient Rome is right there. It's beautiful. It's amazing how they do this. And I was saying I wanted to make a time travel movie because you can do everything within, I don't know, walking distance. It would be really cool. But so going forward, what we're focused on is films that sell and films that are really in the interest of mainstream. And those are family films and action films. So we are just continuing the progress of them. And, we're staying, in the headlines I always see, because I was the president of the film festival, that there's no incentives in Florida. And I think they just didn't pass the bill recently again to give incentives for film, which, you don't really need them. Like I was saying, is if you do things the smart way. And I think eventually those incentives will be there. We have a project that we want to bring back to Florida very soon with Feld Entertainment, who's based in Bradenton, and they own Disney on Ice, they own Ringling Brothers. I don't know if people know that. They're right here in Bradenton, but they're the largest live entertainment company in the U.S. They want to make a film about Ringling, the circus, which has not been done. So we are working on that right now with them. And again, there's no incentives in Florida. We want to shoot the whole thing here, and that would be a big budget film. We've already talked to like John Travolta and other actors to play the dad of the Ringling family. And it's got so much steam on it that I don't see it not happening. But so that's what we're focused on, those kind of films. Like that would be a family type film, and action films. It's those are two genres that are very, there's a lot of like they cross over internationally very easily. You hear about that. I didn't know when I first started, I got into making these indie films, like these romantic comedies or two guys in a car go on a drive together, road trip stories. Those don't sell well. So I realized that after a couple of them, like, no, you got to make things that are commercial. So that's what we got into now, and it's an interesting field. I think like the gentleman before me, music. Like we work with companies like his on getting music rights. Film is a business that involves every kind of business, whether it's attorneys or financial advisors like myself, or there's artists, there's all different types of people that are involved in film. On a crew, we have 80 different people working, every day. So it's one of those industries that affects every other industry just about. With that, I think it's very positive for the community, and if you're not in film or if you never think you'll be in film, there's a way to, I think, work with filmmakers, because it's a very fruitful business as well. That's all I have, Vinny. That's it, man. The film festival is coming up the end of this month, though, and there's a lot of good films there, so check that out. I think it's March 30th, I want to say. Yeah, so enjoy it. Thanks.